Shout out to the good dad out there. While high expenses and low income are both challenging to adjust quickly, okay, we got the respondents for 28%. When it comes to social pressures, okay, lack of surplus funds cut across multiple income levels, even households earning, okay, we get into high quote unquote high income earners. People earning six figures may still be living paycheck to paycheck. 34% of respondents earning 100 to 150,000, 35% of 150 to 200, and 39%, almost 200 of those earning 200,000 or more describe themselves as not having any money left over after covering expenses. Isn't it scary that what this is saying? So 34% making 100 to 150 are living paycheck to paycheck, 35% making 150, 200 are living paycheck to paycheck, and 39% making 200 or more are living paycheck to paycheck. So the more money you make, more money, more problems. As people's incomes are increasing from 100K to 200K plus, they're saying you have a high percentage chance of living paycheck to paycheck. I would say that's part of the lifestyle inflation and debt. And the lifestyle inflation / debt being tied into some of these people getting too big of a house, or they went and got these degrees to get these high incomes, but then obviously you have to pay these degrees back. So 2 people got a master's and both of y'all got student loan debts for that. I mean, that's a lot. Then on top of that, you incorporate your mortgage payment. Come on now. That may be due to extreme prices and high cost of living reasons, like I said, family and medical expenses. Yep. Then you have add children into this mix as well. Or medical. Okay. Yeah. And simply unrealistic spending. Yes. There we go. This is it. It's just unrealistic spending. People are out of control, man. Surprisingly, less than 6% of respondents. Because let's be clear, y'all be getting too many. Y'all get the iPhone too frequently. My iPhone, it's coming on 4 years old. It'll be 4 years old this year. And I think that's when I'm going to get a new iPhone every 4 years. Because they cost spending. And now, like, it's my wife and I. So, we gotta get 2 iPhones just so we stay on the same cycle for simplicity in my head. But, anywhere from $2,500 or so dollars every 2 years or so. No, the phones are designed to last longer than this now. And I'm gonna use it just like a car until it stops working. Get you one with, enough storage. You don't have to worry about that, or just pay for the cloud storage, whatever you want to do. And keep it pushing, but signing up so you get the iPhone, every year you're making that payment on your cell phone. It's like, my goodness, make use of your capital better, y'all. Okay, surprisingly, less than 6% respondents. Yeah, not surprisingly, people don't understand how debt impacts them financially. Yet most people's financial goal is to get out of debt when they sit down with somebody. Okay, 6% of respondents reported that outstanding debt was a major influence on their financial situation. People don't care about the debt. However, paying down debt to avoid accruing additional interest and eventually eliminate that monthly payment would improve someone's cash flow. Exactly. The cognitive dissonance. People just don't understand. That's why the financial illiteracy rate, or literacy rate, however you want to look at it, is just so bad because people don't get it. Okay, they're saying 3/4 of Americans have less than 1 month of expenses as emergency savings. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, how much do you have in savings? So no savings when it comes to all respondents is 3.6%. People living paycheck to paycheck is 5.5%. So $1 to $1,000, 27%. For all respondents, 41%. For 1,000, 2,000, then over 2,000. Jesus. And this is where $2,000 is what they're putting for the marker for a monthly emergency savings. That is, and by the way, it's 3 to 6 months is a general recommendation. Everybody's expenses, to my knowledge, for 3 months is more than $2,000. Okay, respondents living paycheck to paycheck. I mentioned 5% for no savings, 25% for 1 to 1,000, 46% for 1,000, 2,000, and then 14.8% for over $2,000. So as far as the trend, the data is the same. More and more people have less savings as far as no savings, to 1 to 1,000 to 1 to 2,000, then over 2,000 for the podcast listeners. So that all tracks out, and the numbers are pretty close. So essentially, people have relatively the same amount of savings. Okay, all right, we talked about that. See, that's what I read the chart myself, and then they do a blurb about the chart. Okay, spending behavior of consumers who are living paycheck. Boom. Let's talk about how they're spending their money. We already talked about the debt, which they don't care about. Americans who are making ends meet, even if just barely, still allocate some of their budget toward non-essential purchases. Only 9% of overall survey respondents and 14% of those living paycheck to paycheck reported that they've cut out discretionary spending altogether. That's what you need to do so you can pay down your debt. That's your debt snowball right there, or your leftover amount. Suggesting they prioritize their lifestyle over financial security. That's 14%, right? 9% overall, but 14% people living paycheck to paycheck. But these are the ones who admitted it. Then there are the people who, when you actually look at their finances, based off how they're spending their money, they prioritize their lifestyle over financial security. That number is significantly higher, i.e., when we get back to this data right here, where it's talking about how many people need buy now, pay later, but then versus how many people, are admitting that their lifestyle is impacting them financially. Like, some people just don't understand. All right, most common category of non-essential spending was entertainment and leisure activities. What does that mean? Okay, 20% of Americans making right person in these categories. Dining out, 15%. Okay, eating out, takeout food or delivery, 14% were other selected options among, okay. Consumers living paycheck to paycheck also prioritize entertainment spending, though clothing purchases outweighed any form of dining. Y'all gonna get them clothes now. How I said she's spending food money on clothes. You see how she cash crops? Like, spending more money on clothes than dining, than eating. You see, remember, dining out, going out to eat or take out, whatever it is, food delivery, that is on top of your grocery budget. It's the amount of money people, and not to mention, I think it's roughly around 20% of food thrown away as far as when people go to the grocery store. So let's just say, for every dollar you spend, 20 cents is what you throw away. So you're only eating 80% of your plate as far as the grocery store. Oh my goodness. Which non-essential items do consumers, living paycheck to paycheck, spend the most on? So now we're going to get into everything here. Let's see. Leisure travel is 2.4%. Miscellaneous spending, so gift hobbies, 10%. Food takeout, 11%. Uber and cabs, 13%. Shout out to Uber. Dining out, 13%. That's the same event though. Dining out and Uber. Or excuse me, entertain. I mean, this is like going out to the club, whatever it is. Most people, not most people, you're spending the Uber. And then you got clothing, 13.8%, and entertainment and leisure activities, 20%. So I would say like Uber, cabs, dining out, clothing, entertainment, leisure activities, those are just going to be all relatively the same thing in the sense of people going to buy clothes so they can go out to eat. They're going to probably catch an Uber so they can go out to eat. You know what I mean? Or to the club. Okay. 63% share they're making food at home as far as people living paycheck to paycheck or packing meals rather than ordering out. That's good. In general, but how much money are you still spending though on eating out? They also claim they're cutting back on non-essential purchases, 57%, which is a small bump higher than how often those living comfortably cut back, 53%. Okay. Yeah, if you're living comfortably, you don't need to cut back as much. People living paycheck to paycheck. Duh. The third most popular option to save money was thrifting or making other secondhand purchases, with 50% using this method. Okay. Credit cards are a mainstay for respondents living paycheck to paycheck. Duh. Shout out to buy now, pay later. They're the same thing. Let me, I don't know who's ever said this, but buy now, pay later and credit cards are the exact same thing. I don't care that they track the data different. They're the same thing. They're the same thing as far as how people spend. It's not your money. And yeah, you don't have to pay interest as long as you make the payments in time. It's the same thing. It is the exact same thing. How often do consumers living paycheck to paycheck rely on credit cards for expenses? 12% said always. Jesus. Often is 39%. Sometimes it's 32%. Rarely is 9%, and never 6.4%. Okay, yes, most people are relying on living paycheck to paycheck, relying on credit cards. Duh, they live in paycheck to paycheck. Where do they get the extra money from? More commonly, their credit cards were used to pay for shopping costs, such as electronics, don't need, clothing, or home goods. 61% of those living paycheck to paycheck using a card for this purpose. This was followed by payments made by card for dining and entertainment, exactly, and travel expenses, 49% and 47% respectively. The most common expenses charged to credit cards. All respondents is 54% for shopping. Dining is 50%. Dining and entertainment is 50%. Travel is 50%. Everyday essentials is 40%. Emergency expenses 36%. The people living paycheck to paycheck is 60% for shopping. Dining out 48%. Travel expenses 47%. 38% for everyday essentials and 36% for emergency expenses. See, 36% is what all respondents and people living paycheck to paycheck are spending on their emergency expenses. So that goes to show that most people don't have any savings. That reflects the emergency savings data. The fact that people living paycheck to paycheck are spending 60% on shopping, that's lifestyle right there. Yes, Americans are living off their credit cards and using that as well to cover emergencies. So you're double screwing yourself. Shout out to the high interest rate. Most 83% living paycheck to paycheck indicated feeling somewhat or very concerned about accumulating credit card debt. Okay, true. Duh. 74% of those who have budget surplus each month. Currently, only 35% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck pay their credit card bill in full each month. Yes, we know all the credit card debts. I think it's over $1 trillion now, right?